What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for coming back for another video. On today's video, we're gonna go over 10 reasons why I dislike my new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. So stay tuned. Now I want to keep in mind for everybody that's watching this video, these aren't things that I hate about the Gladiator. These are just little dislikes that I think Jeep could have done a better job on. Now, I could only think of 6 because majority of the Jeep Gladiator I do really love. So I could really only think of 6 things that I didn't like. So the other 4 I actually got on one of the Facebook groups and asked for some opinions on some stuff that people didn't like. So let's get into this. The first one, and the main one, and just so you know, these aren't in any particular order. I just wrote them down as I thought of them, and so it's just 10 random. There's not really any that are more than the other. So the first one is the auto start feature. By far, when I posted that on the group, that was the one that got the most dislikes. Now, let's talk about when is it good to have that auto start feature. I think it's good if you're sitting in traffic. You might as well not be wasting fuel. Now, if you live in a place like Michigan, like we do, that could be, I'm going to turn that off during the middle of the winter because it actually shuts the heat off. So, and then same thing when it's 95 degrees out. I'm going to probably turn that off because it also shuts the air conditioning off when it shuts the vehicle off. Go figure. I mean, obviously. But it would be nice for if we're on road that you could just hit a toggle switch and you didn't have to worry about the auto start coming on and off. Now, if you can think about it, every time you shut your vehicle off when you're on a trail, to hit that switch again and turn it off, then great. But majority of us, after a long day of wheeling, we're not really thinking about having to turn that switch on and off. So if you're up on an angle and you're in 4-wheel drive and you're not in 4-low, there's a good chance that your vehicle is probably going to shut off when you're sitting there and you push the brake when you're trying to get over an obstacle. Just really annoying. So it's not really a horrible thing, but it could have been done better. Now, I realize that this is a feature that in 2020 it's mandatory. Every vehicle has to have it. It's EPA regulated, so I get it. I did just see that there is an aftermarket module that you can put on there and it will shut it off. So I will link that down in the description if you are interested in that. All right, let's move on to number 2. So this is another one. I didn't even think about this because I've only had my Gladiator for about 2.5-3 weeks now, so I haven't got to take it off road much yet. But a lot of guys are saying that there is a crease right in here where the new JL fenders are that actually catch rocks in there, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, I can see that I have little pebbles in there. If we leave those in there, then it's going to end up scraping away at the paint, and that is going to be a long-term issue where we're gonna have rusty fenders on these Gladiators. I guarantee it, because not everybody is going to do this. Now, I'm gonna link a video that I saw another person link in that forum that or the Facebook group that I put that question in, that actually shows what they're doing to mitigate that issue so that we don't have that rust issue. Because especially if you live in a state where they use a lot of salt, we've got to protect these vehicles because they're going to rust if we don't. So yeah, that's number 2. Could have done a little bit better. Maybe they could have put a weather stripping or something in there to fill that gap in. You know, is it detrimental? Could be. Yeah. All right, number 3. Okay, so number 3 is actually the LED headlights. Now, my Gladiator does have the LED light package. As far as the actual function of them, they are amazing, super bright. I'm actually going to unlock it so you can see them. They do have a really nice halo daytime running light. Now, here's the issue with these headlights. while they are beautiful and they work amazing, I'm not sure if I'm making that clear, they are amazing, they're well worth the money to upgrade them. They don't have a heat element in them. I don't know why Jeep did this. It wouldn't have been that much more expensive, with as expensive as these headlights are, to throw a heat element in them. Because here's the issue, and winter is upon us right now. It's right around the corner. We have snow in the forecast. I know that if I'm driving this in a bad snowstorm, those headlights are going to fill up with snow, and based on the research I've done, they do. So you're going to have to get out, and you're going to have to get the snow out of there so that they don't ice up. So I would highly recommend, which I am going to be bringing some kind of ice, de-ice solution, so that this isn't an issue for me moving forward. So if you do have the LED light package, or you plan on getting it, just know that that might be an issue in the future if you're in a winter climate. So beyond that, I absolutely love them. So it's a very small dislike. Still worth getting them. Just make sure that you have some way to de-ice them. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so these next two are going to be in the rear of the vehicle. The first one is actually the spare tire, where Jeep decided to put the spare tire. Now here's why this bugs me personally. For those of us that actually wheel our Gladiators and want to put them through the paces as much as we can, there's gonna come a time where you blow out a tire, and it's gonna be a royal pain in the butt to get that spare tire out of there. You know, let's think of this for an instant. Maybe you're out on a trail and you blow out a front right tire, and you happen to roll back into a rock that's too big to move. You know, you're out with some guys that might not have a winch, and these are all hypothetical, and now you've got a rock that's underneath of your vehicle shoving your spare tire up, and you can't get it out to replace your blown out front right tire. So those are just all issues. Now, what's the chances that happen? Probably not very good, but there's always that chance. So I don't really want to chance that. I don't know about you guys. So I'm going to be putting a bed rack on this thing, and I think that I will definitely be mounting my spare tire to that. Right now, usually I just have it in my bed, ratchet strapped down, just in case I need it. So, you know, that just personally bugs me. So while we're over here, let's move on to the taillights, because everybody's talking about these things. Okay, so next is these bulky taillights. Now, I do have the LED package, so they do look amazing. My only issue with this, and mine is not really as big of a deal. Yes, these are expensive taillights, but there are some Gladiators, especially if you got the safety package, your blind spot monitoring system. One of the sensors is this big shape right here, and that's why this is here, is for that blind spot monitoring system. Now, let's think about this. If you're out on a tight trail and a tree branch comes out of nowhere because you didn't see it because you're paying attention to everything else while you're out there wheeling, and you smash this thing off and rip it right out of the bed, that's an expensive taillight, especially if you have that sensor on it. That's going to be a lot of money to replace. I think they could have incorporated this into the bed system a little bit more and protected it. Now, I'm sure we all know there's a lot of aftermarket stuff coming out right now, so I'm hoping that somebody comes out with some kind of system maybe attached to the bumper that comes up to protect those taillights, because they are expensive. Yeah, so it's not a hate, it's just a little bit of a dislike. How easy are they going to come off? I actually, you know, we don't really know. I haven't been out to test them. I've seen a lot of wheeling videos of guys out testing these Gladiators. Nobody's hit one that I've seen yet, but I'm sure that you will be able to hit it. So, like I said, it's not really it's a dislike, but it's not like oh my god, it's the most horrible thing in the world. So, all right, next one. Okay, so number 7 is these dinky little side mirrors. Now, if you're somebody that's not ever gonna tow with your Jeep, this probably really isn't that big of a deal. This is more of a big deal if you are somebody like we are that is actually gonna tow with your Jeep. We're gonna end up having a trailer for overlanding that we're towing with. It'd be nice if they gave an option to be able to pop this side mirror out, or maybe an extension in the arm base itself for when you are towing, or even just a pop out trailer side mirror so that we could see our trailer a little bit better. That would just be nice. You know, just something that Jeep, hopefully they think about it for some of the next generation models. Would be nice, just nice to have. So, all right, let's move on. So this next one is actually underneath of the Jeep. It's actually the lack of skid plates. I mean, this is a Rubicon Gladiator. It's meant, they give it the Rubicon badge because it's meant to go on the Rubicon Trail. Well, I don't know about you, but I am not taking this on the Rubicon Trail before I have full underbody skid plates. I don't understand why we can put certain skid plates on there from the factory, and they have holes in them. They catch on everything. So why wouldn't Jeep design a full underbody skid plate system that is an option for these Jeeps? They know we're going to take these out and we're going to beat on them. It would just be nice if they would think about that and put an option, you know, like the expensive taillights and headlights. That's an option. The really nice radial, that's an option. I think upgraded skid plates from the factory should be an option. I don't know, what do you guys think? Throw it down in the comment sections if you agree. All right, so the next three are actually inside of the Jeep. So it really drives me nuts because I had this on my JKU. It's the auto up on the windows. The two front windows no longer have the auto up feature. I don't understand why we can't have that anymore. Why did they take that away? It doesn't make any sense. Is it the end of the world? No, but it's nice. It was nice on my JKU to be able to double click it up and the window automatically went up. So once again, it's not a horrible thing, but I don't understand why they couldn't have kept that option on them. Okay, number 9 is actually the fact that you can't fully disconnect the stability control. Now, if you have it in 4 low, it will disable the stability control, but there's no other time that you're able to disable that stability control. So if you're a guy like me and you like to do donuts, you're not really going to be able to do them without putting in a fun button. And if you haven't heard of a fun button, there is instructions online on how to install a fun button to permanently disable your stability control. Now, I haven't really looked into it much on the Gladiator yet, so if you do know how to shut it off, I would really appreciate it if you would share that down in the comment sections, because I'm sure anybody watching this would love to know how to do that, if there is a way. I've already tried holding the buttons, or holding the traction control button down for a certain period of time. None of it seems to shut it off or disable it all the way. So again, if you guys could share that, that would be wonderful. So the last one is actually something that is personal to me, and this is because I am a real estate agent and I'm on the road a lot. So my Canon camera, you have to have a 110 outlet in order to charge the battery on it. Well, Jeep took away the 110 outlet up front. I don't really understand this. I mean, it fit really nicely in the other center console. It looks like there's plenty of room in here in order to add that back in. I don't understand why we can't have that still. So that's my number 10 on dislikes for the Gladiator. Now, like I said in the beginning, I don't hate the Gladiator. I love so much about it. I'm actually going to be doing a video about the 10 things I love about the Gladiator, because it is a really, really capable rig. So really, this is just the 10 things. Like I said in the beginning, 6 of them were my ideas. The other 4 were online. So I couldn't even think of a full 10, but I wanted to do a full 10 because I'm sure I knew that there was people out there that there was quirks about it that they didn't like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more Gladiator and off-roading videos, and the off-road videos are coming, I promise. My partner had a passing in his family, so he had to go out of state to do that. So the Jeep Gladiator versus Tacoma videos are coming, I promise. More wheeling videos with the Gladiator are coming, because I want to wheel this thing before I put a lift on it, because that's not that far away. So I want to make sure that we get that in. So I really appreciate you guys watching, and have a wonderful night. See ya.